What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to
Conbrosations,
right? We can say that intro now.
Right.
A place on the internet where we have conversations and put them up on the internet. Conversations we're going to have anyway. See, this is the problem. We haven't done it in ages.
We haven't done it in five ever.
It's conversations that we were going to have anyway and put them up on the internet.
That's true.
I'm one of your bros, Eddie, along with the bro with the most below sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good. It's going good.
Today, you are joined by real DC fans.
That's right.
To discuss one of the most anticipated DC movies ever.
Yep.
The Matt Reeves version of The Batman.
That's right.
That's what we're going to be reviewing here today. Bringing back Movie Club for the one time in 4,000 years,
Yes.
however long it's been. But yeah, we're going to be talking about The Batman. We've both seen
That's right.
it. Going to do our little light impressions first of all, spoiler free for the first few minutes.
A minute.
And then we're going to go right into full spoilers and talk about
Heavy spoilers.
how we felt about this movie.
If you get spoiled, it's
too
your own fault.
Exactly. This will be very different to any
Previous movie clubs because we don't have any notes. We normally take notes so we can really get our thoughts down, and we just went and saw the movie and then came here.
Yeah, we're not going to take our imagine taking your laptop into the cinema. Other people are like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get off of the."
People are like, please turn your phone off as the light distracts, and you're like full max light, just like
Don't worry, my keyboard's cool.
on light mode.
But this review is going to be whoa. Your microphone's actually very close to the camera, so it shook the whole thing.
Whoops.
Don't worry. This is going to be a very different review to ones that you've probably seen on a channel called the Four Pillars Network. Whereas their one is going to be from the perspective of a Marvel shill. Ours is going to be from hardcore, true DC fans and people who understand true cinema.
True cinema, we understand storytelling, good characters. We don't like dudes on steroids with shields and stuff
Nonsense like
ridiculous.
That, Anyway, so this what this is going to be. We've got some of your thoughts as well to read out as well, so that'd be really cool. But start off, bro. Spoiler free. How did you feel about this movie?
So this is a really contentious opinion. It's not going to align with the majority, but I personally, I've got to say, really enjoyed it.
Oh, there we go. That was scary for a moment. Scary for a moment there. I bet you had a couple of the people who were like, oh, God.
They're like, more bad takes and shit.
What's he going to say?
I think this is the best Batman movie we've ever had with a top 3 or 4 Batman. Our Bats isn't too bad. He's not the best. I still think Batfleck is the best by a long way. But our Bats was very good. He was a very good Batman and a aggressively mid Bruce.
Oh, Bruce Wayne is non-existent essentially in this.
Yeah, and it bugs me because it is important for Batman to use his fake identity in certain situations, right? Of Bruce Wayne, and it's not really there. But other than that, really good movie. The best Batman movie, best standalone. The villains were great. I gotta be honest, didn't love the actual overall plot for the Riddler.
Okay.
But we'll talk about that in detail with the spoilers in a minute. What about you? How did you feel?
I loved this movie.
I thought you would.
I thought, like you said, it was the best Batman movie we've ever had. I really, really, really liked this Batman.
Yeah, me too.
However, like you, I don't think he's the best. I think he's second, though. I do put him up there with Batfleck. I think he's really close. That's my personal opinion. The only downside, like you said, though, was that it was a non-existent Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But there is supposed to be a sequel for this movie.
There's definitely going to be a sequel. I'm excited for it.
So there's still room to build up this character. And the other Batman, Bale had 3 movies. Yeah. There's been more movies for other Batman.
Don't rub it in Batfleck's face.
Exactly. He's the only one that hasn't had anything. And it's funny how he's the best Batman. So that's the thing. Now, I don't want people to take that as a dig or anything like that. This is the weird thing. We're actual Batman fans. Yeah. So we love this character, and this is such a great version of Batman.
It's really good.
I love that it was he was mentally unstable. He's just he's
going through stuff.
The trauma is really fucking with him, and the way that he chooses to take that out, to put it into something productive-ish, the whole Batman identity. Well, Batman, he is his identity, but the whole thing there. And how it changes sort of slightly over to the end, how Gotham receives him and stuff like that. Right. I thought it was really good. One thing that this movie did, I think, better than anyone else is making Gotham seem like an actual shithole.
I'm so glad you said that. Gotham is real, finally. And one of the things about it, which we'll get to it a bit more in the spoiler part, is that Gotham, and this is the point about noir, is the city is a character.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be, and Gotham feels like Gotham here. It feels lived in, it feels dirty and grungy and grimy, except for those few places where all the money is, which is crystal clear. And that's what all the real corruption is, in like this weird dichotomy. But everywhere else, it feels exactly the way it's supposed to. It's so good. Overall impressions, loved Batman. I think he's top 3.
Yeah.
Best showing of Gotham.
Yeah.
Best movie overall. Good villains. Catwoman was done really well. It's not perfect. There are a few things, but overall, like, it's so good.
So good. Such great cinema to watch. And it was a hair. I felt like sometimes it got a hair on the long side, but I didn't
notice that at all. I have to be honest. No, I felt like it had a couple of natural ends that it just kept going.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I think there were 2 where I was like, okay, this is the end. Okay, this is the end. And both times I was like, oh, there's more.
There's more.
I felt like rewarded that there was more. I know a lot of people are complaining it's a bit long, but I mean, we both didn't care about Justice League being 4 hours.
That's the thing. I don't mind so much it being so long, but there was one point, I think maybe because I was watching it with my girl, I was more worried about her.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the cinema and I'm
Same
like,
for me.
Okay, we've been going on a little bit here. Is she going to be okay with this? Is she going to be okay? But
Yeah.
you know what? She actually said that was her favorite Batman movie as well. I was like, that's
My chick liked it a lot as well.
So, yeah, that's our spoiler-free impressions right there. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you haven't watched it, go watch it, then come back and watch the rest
Now
of
get
this.
the frick out of here because we're going to talk in detail about spoiler events. So spoiler warning, spoilers coming up.
Spoilers.
There will be spoilers.
Spoilers.
If you listen to spoilers, you will be spoiled. You'll spoil yourself. Spoiler warning.
Spoilers.
Here they are.
Spoilers. Okay.
Big shock. Bruce Wayne's Batman.
What? Whoa. And another big shock. His parents are dead.
Gasp. That's one of my complaints.
They didn't show
We
the
don't know how they died.
How did they die?
Oh, no. But haven't we always said they show it in every movie? This is the one movie they never showed it in.
Right,
We're just told they're dead.
What did you think about the changing of almost the personality? I guess it's not so much because he did feel remorse for it, but Thomas Wayne has always been projected as an angel.
Crystal clean.
Literally no flaws, no corruption possible.
I really liked it.
This was really human, right? Like, he was trying to protect something so deeply personal about his wife that he made a mistake, turned to the wrong person, and then something terrible happened and it consumed him.
I thought everything around that was actually really good. Like, a lot of the dirt was about Martha and her mental health and stuff, right? Which is also kind of ironic because she's the Arkham family, they have Arkham Asylum, and that's maybe one of the reasons why.
And also Bruce is turning out to be...
But also it's like, that's one of those things where it's like, that is a real below-the-belt hit, right? And I really enjoyed that idea. I do have to say this surrounds one of my big problems with the movie.
Go ahead.
So again, this isn't like in any order, it's just our sort of feelings. The Riddler.
Yeah.
If you think about him, I have 2 beefs with him. He doesn't make all that much sense. My first real problem is that he has information he should not have had. So I think they kind of allude to it, but I really felt that they should have come out and said that he was the murdered reporter's kid, because that would have given him access to all of the dirt on the Waynes, right? And a way into the stuff about renewal and stuff. He just has it. And it sort of comes out of nowhere because we're kind of told he's an accountant and he finds out renewal's crooked. And then he has all this stuff and has all his plans. It's a bit out of nowhere. So I think if we'd have made that connection, then there would have been the connection to Wayne, because his dad was murdered. He feels his dad was murdered by that. That made him an orphan. He went into terrible care. Do you see what I mean? There's a bit more connection. And then my other problem with the villain, there's a few villains, but with the Riddler as a villain, is at the end, the big bad, oh no, the seawall comes out of nowhere. Like, we've never established that Gotham is surrounded by a seawall in this movie.
Below sea level or something like that, right?
And like, I'm cool with it. It's a great threat, but like, let's have early on, like, like a news report saying, thanks to the funds from the renewal fund,
from Wayne Industries for the construction of
renewing the seawall to keep, blah, blah, something.
That's a good point. Good point, yeah.
But otherwise, I really enjoyed the Riddler.
Yeah, I think he was quite. There was one. He seemed just so mentally smart. It's just like he had all the ideas, and there was always one step ahead.
Yeah.
There was nothing that even the smartest detective could do to get ahead. Even when they thought they were ahead, no, you're already 2 steps behind.
He
son.
leads Batman around by the nose.
Very good, and that's a good Riddler. That's what Riddler's supposed to be doing.
I agree.
What do you think of the Penguin?
I loved him. I thought it was great. I thought it was brilliant.
I forgot for a good portion of the movie that he was Colin Farrell. Did you not know?
What?
It's Colin Farrell in prosthetics and makeup as the Penguin.
I didn't know. That's amazing.
Right?
He's so good.
It proper nailed the hey, what you doing, gorgeous?
I love the
great.
The scene was like, I got you. Yeah, I love that scene. It's so good. He's brilliant as the Penguin.
Fantastic, and such a great Penguin as well. It was
He's amazing.
I loved it especially because like it's early on in the movie when Batman goes to the nightclub and goes to see the Penguin. The Penguin just doing deals and drugs right in front of him.
Well, he's there to see a mobster.
Exactly.
So what's a little bit of, they call them drops, but like drugs. What's a little bit of drugs to Batman, who's speaking to, we all know who we are at this point.
Yeah.
A mafioso.
It's like, if I don't do it in front of you, you're not going to believe that I'm a mafia.
We know you're not clean. And look, let's at the absolute cleanest on its front, he runs a nightclub.
Yeah.
You think there aren't cooked books a little bit. It's like a private nightclub. It's not a chain, right? You think there's no cooked books. You think there's nothing going on in the background.
There's chicks everywhere.
There's no
there's
hookers.
clearly
There's
prostitution
no drugs.
going on as well. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. And it's Gotham. Everything's bad.
At its best, it's a normal nightclub.
Yeah.
You know? So I really enjoyed that. And I thought the Penguin was so good.
I thought it was really good.
And they finally got... So we know that there's mafia in Gotham, but like the Bale Mafia just sort of feels like it's there. And we're told they're mafia, but I don't believe it. I believe, and it's just the accents really, but like they feel like a mafia family.
Yeah, I agree. And when they come up with all these... They come up with the names and what it's Batman. It's in the Batman stories and what, like Falcone and all this stuff like
Maroni.
that. Yeah. And you need someone to obviously play up that act, and I felt like he played into that whole. Like,
he played it really well.
Very, very well. I really liked him as the Penguin as well. His face wasn't so. The Penguin's always been sort of disturbing to look at.
Yeah.
He was disturbing, but in a bit more of a realistic way.
Yeah, he wasn't a caricature. Like, this is a real life superhero. So like he. Don't get me wrong, I love the OG Penguin. I think there's something about it, and it's very comic book accurate. That's the Keaton movie, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that Danny DeVito? I want to
Danny DeVito, yeah.
Like, it's great, and it's comic book accurate, but it's not true to life.
No.
And in this one, he's disfigured in that he's not gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, he's a little bit overweight, because he's a mafioso. He's, like, scarred, and he has a limp. But he's not like, I'm back.
Penguins are flippers.
Right. He got this nickname because that's what, mafiosos and people do because of this limp, and he's a mafioso. So it was really well done. Everything felt realistic.
Yeah. The Batmobile.
The most realistic and best Batmobile, and also simultaneously by far the least iconic.
That's going to be the issue, I think. So I agree. The best Batmobile, the best entrance to a Batmobile.
So good.
I nearly came in my pants when that came on the screen.
I for sure did.
I managed to hold it back. I was like, this is testing my will. And when the roaring, and the Penguin just staring, just like, what is going to happen?
But then, like, the jet on the back, we all know it's iconic. Yeah. But the fact that, like, he's got those open headers just, like, spitting fire in the engine bay.
It was so good.
So good.
I really, really liked it. As you said, most accurate, most realistic as well. Like, you'd build a car, armor it up and stuff like that.
And least iconic.
Yeah.
I don't think I doubt they're selling very many toys of that,
It might sell it now, but I think down the line it's not going to be one of those ones, unfortunately. But it's so good. To people who really like Batman, they're going to remember it.
Right.
But other people aren't going to.
The reality is the most iconic Batmobile is the Keaton George Clooney one, right?
It
That
was over stylized with the big fins and stuff
right,
like
and
that.
like basically a jet engine spinning in the front. Like, and don't get me wrong, that's also my favorite. Like, it's not the best. Like, this is the best Batmobile, and it's also better than the Tumbler,
Yeah.
which makes the most sense. But
At least they tried to work into a story. Yeah, it's like a prototype military thing. So it's like
right, but like, oh, no one's gonna notice that. Not the team of 1,000 engineers. That...
and he just skates across rooftops. It doesn't fall through, right?
It's a tank.
4,000 tons of fucking.
It's a tank. So
Oh,
I thought it was the most real life Batman we've got, and especially in Gotham. Like,
Yeah.
I love doing what I really love. Batfleck, I think is the best. I also think I'm really glad that it isn't Batfleck in this movie, because we'd never be able to do Batman ever again. I think this is the best Batman movie and it's brilliant, but in 20, 30 years they could do another one.
Yeah.
If it was Batfleck worked into this, that's it. You don't get to do anymore. I'm really worried about Superman for that same reason.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
hard to
Brandon
do a
Routh.
Superman movie without Henry Cavill, right?
What are you going to do? And especially when you're WB and you're wasting all of this talent.
Yeah.
By the time you realise you made a mistake, they've aged out of the role.
Yeah.
And maybe you could do a Kingdom Come, but stupid.
Alfred.
Loved him. Absolutely loved him. Another problem I have. So it's funny. I think the Dark Knight trilogy can now be relegated to definitely at best third. At best. And I wouldn't put them in my top three. For Batmans or for movies. You realise how corny and
It's like you
cheesy they
said,
are.
really what people are enjoying about the Dark Knight trilogy is the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
That movie, and it's because of Joker.
And it's Joker. It's a Joker movie.
And don't get me wrong, Bane's quite...
He's good and he's
I
the
think
most real-to-life Bane.
I think he's good and whatnot, but it's not the best Batman movie, that one.
No.
And the first one is, all right, it's cool to see the beginnings and whatnot, but as you said, very corny and
Very cheesy.
and it set the precedent for... It's not
They're
the
not
best.
good. They're
It's
not
the
good.
best.
They're not good.
But we look at them with rose-tinted glasses,
Of course.
and that's what we...
And
that's
also,
what we
Heath
see.
Ledger was so good.
Yeah.
But at least it's just that he's trained by ninjas. He's literally a ninja. And in this, I really wish we would have had that scene in the hospital where he's talking to Alfred,
Yeah.
where I wish Alfred would have said, when your father died, I didn't know what to do. I'm a military man. And I took a gig to protect some billionaire, and I fell in love with your family. And then when you needed a dad, and I didn't know I was scared, and I had no idea how to handle it, and I couldn't be what you needed to be. Because we established, he says, I taught you how to fight, but what you needed was a dad. And what we could have done is been like, okay, this is a badass guy. Because we get the impression that Alfred is no stranger to... He's a billionaire's body man.
He starts like deciphering code and stuff like that better than Bruce does.
Right, exactly. Which I also, by the way, I got to say, I love that there was actual detective work in it. I felt that it petered off about halfway through the movie, and I feel like that was a mistake. But I just think we needed a couple more things. Like, I needed Alfred to say, I'm an absolute badass, and that's how you know how to fight, because we don't have ninjas in this, at least not at the minute. Which I'm not opposed to either, but like, they're not here. We haven't established that. So established the way you know to fight is this career military man who's an absolute don. And I thought Alfred was really good at that. I thought it was almost said. I got that feeling, but we never quite told.
I actually... I don't feel... how do I say this?
Also, because Batman's fighting is much more not brutal, but like guttural, and it's less refined.
Yeah, if he's supposed to be a military man, you'd think it'd
It's
be
get the
refined
job
and
done
whatnot.
type of fighting, not like karate stuff.
I did really like it when he came to and he basically said exactly what you said there, where like you needed a father and I couldn't be that, so I taught you to fight. It showed this like raw relationship that they have.
Yeah.
They're both broken. Bruce more broken in a visible way, where like he's just antisocial now.
They're
and
both
whatnot.
broken. That's exactly it.
Exactly,
And they are father and son, but they're not father and son. But
Exactly.
they are. They're family.
Exactly.
And
I really liked that scene in the
really
hospital
good.
bed. And do you know how upset I was on the lead up where like Batman figures out that there's the target is him.
Yeah.
And he's opening up the thing, and I'm like,
no.
Alfred, don't do
Yes.
it. And he throws it to the side, and I'm like, did he survive? Oh wait, that explosion was real
was
big.
big.
real big.
I did like the
and
play.
then the phone call is like,
Oh.
it's too late. It happened an hour ago. And it's like, no, we didn't just lose Alfred.
Yeah.
And then we see
That
him in
was
the bed,
really
and
well
I'm
done.
like, oh, shit, Spiritus
That was
Santos.
but then they do the double take where he gets the false information and he's like, I hate you.
Yeah.
You kept this from me. How did I not know? And he's like, wait. I did keep things from you, but this is the thing. And then they have that oh my God, that was so good. Yeah. That was so good.
So fucking hell, the guy just got out of what fuck looked like a coma, and you're straight away like, how the fuck could you do that to me?
Yeah,
So
I feel like maybe
I don't even know where I am right now.
A minute. Get the guy a coffee.
You know when people are like, you just come out of a coma, you're in the hospital, you're fine, everything's okay. Didn't even
By
get
the
that.
way,
Betrayal.
in it straight up. Catwoman, what do you think?
Catwoman, I think, was very good. I did
agree.
like how she was more realistic. She was more of she was a cat burglar, and there was the cats to sort of signify, she's Catwoman. And then the drinking of the milk, and I was like, I see what you did. But it wasn't in a cheesy way. It wasn't in a way to signify, oh, she's actually got feline senses or anything like that.
And I would have been okay with it. It is a superhero movie.
Exactly. We're trying to bend the truth here a little bit. But I really liked her, and I think she was really
Zoe
good.
Kravitz did a really good job. I have a couple of things I didn't like.
Go ahead.
I wish we'd have been told, or Bruce would have found out about her like cat burglar history, so we could have learned that she is this incredible cat burglar who's sort of down on luck a bit. She just sort of turns up at the mayor's house,
Yeah.
and it's like, we know she's Catwoman, but like we still need to be told.
He found out when he was spying on her very pervertly, I will say.
Yeah. He follows her,
and she just flips out of a window, and I was like, "Whoa, there's something more here. What the fuck?"
But we
didn't find out anything else about
it.
her.
Would have been very easy for him to be back at the Batcave and find out that Selena Kyle is in fact, thanks to all of his great detective-ing stuff, actually, and take his eye footage of her and match up the heights to like unknown burglars and stuff. This super talented cat burglar. I think we needed that. I also have to say I didn't give a shit about the Russian girl.
Yeah, she wasn't even presented that much, right?
She's our hook.
It's my friend, and I was like, okay, can we know anything about her? See her at all?
And then halfway through the movie, she just turns up dead, and it's like, well, what? I get that's the reason for why she goes after Falcone. Yeah. Because she connects the strangling and stuff, but like that was kind of clumsy. We needed just a bit more of a hook, a bit more of her being relevant. And also, this might be in my head, but don't they say she's underage?
Oh yeah, and
isn't Catwoman dating her?
Awkward moment. I didn't think about that in the moment, but I think they do say she's underage.
I think they do, and she calls her baby and stuff like that. So it's unusual. Now, underage, it maybe in America means under 21, like underage to drink or maybe work at a club or something like that. But even still, it's a bit sus. A little bit sus.
I mean, it's bad if she's of age, but going out with the mayor, because that was the original connection. And it's like, okay, he's like a 45, 50-year-old man, and he's going out with like an 18-year-old.
Yeah,
that's
I think
that's
the
just a
if
little
she's
bit
like
much.
17, then it's like, aha, even more dirt on the mayor, so he's in like the gangster's
but
pockets.
That still
and
applies
stuff.
to her.
Exactly.
So that's weird right there.
It is weird.
Okay, a thread that we didn't know existed in the Catwoman lore.
Yeah, it's a bit
pedophile.
sus. A bit sus. A bit of a nonce. What did you think about their fight? Her and Batman fight in the mayor's office.
I thought it was quite cool. Obviously it was very clear that Batman wasn't trying to do anything to her. He was just trying to like...
That's what I liked.
Yeah.
I like that they're sort of fighting. She's going at it, and then the cop comes and he's like, oh, but I can just murk you and everyone. Let me just carry you into his corner. Hold on a second.
That was something, right? It was just like, grabbed her by the finger. She's like... And
she's just like, oh, that's right. I'm beefing out Batman here. He was just letting me like...
Yeah. At any moment, he could have just stopped me and...
I like that
This
a
is
lot.
proof. It was quite good.
It was very good.
I will say something about the mayors. When we saw the woman running for mayor get shot, I was like, it's really not good to be the mayor in this town.
It's really not.
Everyone's getting killed. And one beef I have about her, halfway through, especially when it got to the funeral, I was expecting there to be a big reveal that maybe she was the bad guy or something like that.
I'm so glad you said that.
It was like, she comes up, it's like, Bruce Wayne, I've been meaning to talk to you, but you've been hard to get hold of. And then it's like, oh, I'm going to go pay my respects, so don't go anywhere and I'll talk to you afterwards. And she disappears. Yeah. And I thought she was going to come back in the third act and it'd be like, aha, I was doing it all along. But then she was just nobody. I was like...
This is the thing.
I
think they have to do that because there is no way anyone gets to that position in Gotham clean. And the only person that's managed it is a billionaire. Literally a billionaire. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think she can be clean. I think what I would like to see is... Let me rephrase. I'm really worried that they're trying to tick boxes because they're WB.
They think, like, we won't be seen as racist despite our racist past.
Exactly. So we have this paragon, perfectly pure black woman who's like, black woman, blah, blah, blah. What I think they should do is take a more Amanda Waller way, because Amanda Waller, I love Amanda Waller. She's an amazing villain, and make it where this lady is crooked and is so good that she's making herself seem so perfectly pure, and or at some point is in another gang like Maroni's pocket or one of these other gangsters. Because otherwise she's just too pure. I don't believe it. Doesn't really make sense, you know?
Before we move on from the the Catwoman thing, how did you feel about the plot of is it Maroni, who's her father?
Falcone.
Falcone's her father.
Yeah.
Sorry, Falcone's her father. How did you feel about that?
I felt like it doesn't really make sense because early on she sort of alludes to the fact that she got the job because Falcone's her dad, but Falcone doesn't know she's his daughter. So that's a bit odd to me. Otherwise, I don't mind it. You know, it's a decent connection. It explains why she's in the underworld. You know, like okay, cool. But then he should know who she is.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like you can't do it both ways. So I don't mind it in theory, but I didn't love the way they did it. What about you?
This is something that as well that, like you said, Batman didn't look into the past of Selina Kyle, and if he had, then maybe he would have figured out that the father is suspiciously out of nowhere. Oh, the mother used to work for Falcone. Maybe there's something going on there, and he would have figured it out because he's a master detective. But they left that bit out.
Like if he found out that her mother was strangled, and this girl was strangled, and he's like, "Hey, Selina, got some bad news," you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't mind it so much. I thought it was
it's okay.
Yeah, it was okay. It was just I guess it gave her motivation for like her being in a lot of the scenes and pushing her forward.
But the thing is, I feel like she was going to be there anyway because Falcone killed her underage girlfriend.
Yeah, it gave. I hope that she actually was underage and we're not just saying that.
I feel like they do make a
I feel like they do as well.
It, right?
I feel like they do. I can't remember. I don't want to be. And my memory's shit. So what was I going to say? Yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was that big, anything particularly wrong with it or particularly right with it. It was just in the middle for me. Is there anyone else that we can cover before we get to the Dark Knight himself, the Batman?
Riddler.
Riddler, yeah.
I mean, I covered that. I think he should have a bit more of a connection to the story. I think making him the son of the dead reporter makes a lot of sense, and very neatly ties up how does he have all this information and how did. Like, he seems to have a ton of completely dead info. And if his dad, who's a lifelong career investigative journalist, has it, that's a good way in. Yeah. And he can learn how to investigate stuff from reading his dad's notes. Like, it makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, he's just an analyst or something that ends up with all of this.
Yeah.
And again, my problem with the plan at the end, like, it just comes out of nowhere. Other than that, what did you think? Because I can't tell if they were trying to make him more of like a horror villain.
It seemed that's the way they were going in the beginning. They were like, he seems to be in places that he can't be, unexplained. He seems to be ahead of everyone. He does like Saw style torture mechanics and stuff like that. So it seemed like they were going horror with it. But then at the end, they just made him sort of like a mentally disabled dude, and
he's definitely odd, but like, and I gotta say, when we see his face, I like how ordinary he looks.
Yeah,
you know, I like that. It is a bit, like I say, he just seems to have so much.
It's strange because I did like his Riddler a lot, but there was, like you said, some strange elements to it. I did. I mean, all the way up to seeing his face as well, I was like, shit. This is a proper villain that Batman needs to be worried about. Like, this is what Batman comics are all about. Like, the usual henchman, no problem.
Yeah.
But then the Riddler is an actual big player. The Joker's a big player. These people actually mean something to him. I did like him for those facts.
I liked as well that at the end when he's talking to him in Arkham, he's like, we did all of this. He's like, what do you mean? Like, I never could have got to Falcone. You brought him out into the light. And it's like, that's good. Because he's delusional.
Yeah.
But he's also a genius. And he's leading Batman around by the nose. I do wish the early stuff with like deciphering the ciphers and things like that just sort of goes away, and it becomes a regular Batman movie. And I wish there'd been a bit more detective work consistently.
Because they set up these good riddles at the beginning. You're like, oh, okay, this is actually the Riddler. This is cool. But then they sort of get less and less, and towards the end of it.
Also, no, I'm sure. I think when I watch it again, I'm gonna find there's that bad Spanish La Rada Mada or something.
La Rata. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna find that really heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Because the whole way through the movie, I was thinking, a rat with wings is a bat. So like,
I knew that from the beginning.
I'm like, obviously that's not what he means in his thing, but I'm like, why haven't you made this connection? You should do.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying, oh yeah, a rata, whatever, like a stool pigeon. No, what are you talking about, Bruce? No, what? This isn't. What are you talking about?
What?
No one thinks this. What are you talking about?
You had to look up in an encyclopedia types of birds,
right?
And then look at what their
birds,
nicknames are.
Rats.
Yeah,
like,
they're so stupid.
And it's like he says it probably 4 or 5 times, and I think I found it like, come on, Bruce, have you not thought of bat at least once here?
Yeah.
And it's like, I think when I rewatch it, I'm going to find that really frustrating because he just like gets fixated on this one thing. I was like, it doesn't make any sense. You're not even playing with the idea.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And also we're told a bunch of times that like there's bad Spanish here. Does that sound right? Like this is a clue. Anyway, it's a bit meh.
I think that's all the characters now.
Except for the one himself.
The Batman. Robert Pattinson as the Batman. Tell me, how did you feel about good old R-Bats?
I really like him.
Yeah.
I really liked him as Batman. Yeah. I think I've seen complaints about him like not being big enough or muscular enough. And I don't have any problem with it. I think he's in good shape. Yeah. He's a bigger dude. He's like 6'2" or something.
Yeah.
And I think he's in the sort of shape of like, you know, there's UFC fighters that don't look in great shape, but they're UFC fighters. He's in that kind of shape. And he's going full force with good tactics and like combat awareness and taking people by surprise and stuff. I don't have any problem that he isn't Batfleck. I totally believe this guy's kicking ass. Yeah. And people are like, he's too small. He's freaking wearing knuckle dusters.
Yeah, he's wearing steel knuckle dusters, a body made of pure Kevlar all over. He can, if he punches someone, he's breaking jaws.
It's fine, you know. So like, I don't have any problem with that at all.
Yeah.
And I really liked him as Batman. I really liked him.
Especially I really liked his reveal in the beginning of the movie. So they started off by showing how much people are afraid of Batman. Yeah. And that slow start and the music and the looking into the shadows and the light in the sky.
Yeah.
I felt what those fuckers are feeling after that guy with
He's
the
sinister.
mask robbed the store, looks into the thing. One guy's spray paint in the pillar and he drops his paint can and it goes into the shadow and he's afraid to go after it.
Yeah, you think is Batman coming out of this? Right.
I was
really
like,
good.
Amazing. And then finally do the thing with the train where he just pops out and you hear the...
Yeah, he's taking his time. He's the thing to be afraid of.
And I'm like, oh, that's scary. Oh, that's scary.
So, on this note,
yeah,
because also we said, you know, Gotham is a character. I like that at the beginning, that guy that he saves is freaking terrified of him.
Yeah.
These guys come in brutally like these guys were attacking you, but this guy's taking them out with a level of violence that these gangbangers aren't familiar with.
Yeah.
And this guy's afraid of him. He's like, please don't hurt me. Yeah. And by the end, he has almost a redemption where like the last shots we see of him are him pulling people out of wreckage and helping. No, we don't get the sense that he's helping to rebuild, but he's helping to save people and that will usher in the rebuilding phase. So he's in that savior phase as opposed to being like the vengeance phase.
That last woman, sort of like when he's putting her down on the helicarrier thing, the helicopter carrier thing, and he's about to let go, and she grabs onto him. It's like very different from the very beginning shot where like, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, and it's just like,
and we don't. I like the growth into that, which is he's just doing his same thing, but because of how the Riddler's bringing regular people in, that's why he's being seen as a savior to regular people. Because his only real goal is to be a nightmare for bad people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, the nightmare of my enemy is my dream, sort of thing, right? That's the kind of deal.
That's it.
And it's good that then he gets to be shown not just saving people by taking out the bad guys, but saving people.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
It was a really well done Batman. I
also like that he carries adrenaline and just beats the frick.
So that's something we need to talk about. Let me talk about something else first of all. So I do like the whole of the Batman. So I like that they decided to go for like a sort of mentally unstable Batman because of all the trauma he's been through in his life. I feel like for someone to put on a mask and go out and fight crime, beat people up to a pulp, throw people off of buildings and shit that, you kind of have to be a little bit mentally unhinged.
A little bit unstable, probably.
And they don't try and fix him in this. They don't try and be like, okay, you can just get rid of all your mental issues, whatever it is, by just becoming the Batman.
Yeah,
it's more
just
like the Batman is a funnel, so at least he doesn't lose himself.
He's channeling the problems that he has.
Exactly. And I think that was very, very well done.
Very well done.
I did like that Alfred didn't try to necessarily fix him so much. Occasionally,
Alfred's broken as well.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, who am I to talk, right? He sometimes like tries to sort of like nudge him in the right direction, but then
like when he sees Selena on the screen, he's like, oh, she's pretty girl.
Exactly. And then, but very quickly before like it seats in, or before he gets to attack him for trying to help, he quickly turns it into something else, because that's what you do. You don't push too hard, too fast.
You plant the seed. You don't try and grow the tree yourself. You let the seed do the work.
Exactly. It was so
really
good.
Well
and the thing is that this is why in Batman vs Superman, Batfleck was fucked up in the head from everything that he'd seen over his years of Gotham. He was a seasoned Batman, and it had grown and really worn him down into next to nothing. And then he had the push into the insanity of seeing that this hero is a bad guy, which is easily manipulated to see that way. And it pushed him so far into this mentally unstable state. And this was so close to that, but way early on. And I was like, wow, this is done really well.
I also liked one of my favorite lines, and this is really big for Gotham, is there's kind of a will they won't they romance, which fair enough, right? Catwoman and Batman. And I really enjoyed the scene where he's like, look at me, and she's like big daddy energy, and he's just checking out the thing, and I was like, I love that.
It's like, look at me, and she's like,
yeah, that was a really good scene.
And he's like, yeah, looks good. I was like, oh
yeah,
all that wetness for nothing.
and so this is the thing, is at the very end is she says, come with me, and he sees the bat signal, and she goes, oh, I should have known you're already taken. Because he's in love with the city. The city's a character, and it's consuming his life, right? It's like the ship captains that go down with their ship and stuff like that. Like, he is Gotham's knight, like his Dark Knight of Gotham. He's the bat.
Yeah.
And I like that she said, I should have known you're already taken, because that is really what we're talking about here. I think no one's going to rate that line as much as like me and a handful of other people, but I thought it was really important, and it goes a long way to having made Gotham feel so good, and then to say, yeah, Gotham's a character in this story. This wouldn't happen in New York. This wouldn't happen in Chicago. This wouldn't happen in LA. This can only happen in Gotham. It wouldn't happen in Metropolis. It wouldn't happen in Central City. It can only happen in Gotham. And I really, really vibed with the fact that they mentioned stuff like that. His Bruce, though, feels like he got stuck in like 2007 emo phase. And forgot that like time passes on.
This is the thing. So I spoke to a couple of people. I was like, his Bruce Wayne is non-existent, and it's garbage. It's a con point in this, and people are like,
I wish it didn't exist. It's that bad. And this isn't anything against our bats. Yeah. This is the writing for Bruce. It's
people are like, oh, well, it hasn't grown yet. Maybe in the sequel it will grow. And I'm like, yeah, they might do that in
maybe.
there. But the thing is that he is known as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
If he was just a kid that grew up, he wouldn't be known as Bruce Wayne. He's just a kid that grew up, and if he was by himself, no one would know about him.
Right.
But when he goes out to places and they're like, "That's Bruce Wayne. That's Bruce Wayne. Oh, do you know who this is? Bruce Wayne. Oh, Bruce Wayne. Can I talk with you?"
Right.
So he had to have done something to warrant the Bruce Wayne identity. But in this, it doesn't seem like there is anything, and it's just so it doesn't make sense.
It is very poorly handled. Like, I think because he's the son of the Waynes, that in and of itself might be enough because they like found the city and blah blah blah.
Maybe. I mean,
but I'm with you. Like, there's something missing for sure, and I would like to see
his parents supposed to die when he's like
8.
so
like that.
young.
Yeah.
So there's a period of like 12, 13 years of him doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
People forget about shit like that. They don't even assume this person exists, or they've gone to live on an island somewhere.
Although where we see him is at like a fancy event. It's the funeral for the mayor.
Yeah.
So the fact that the heir to the family that made Gotham, maybe that's a big deal. And also like the journalists that would be there, they're not paparazzi.
Also, would they know what? See, this is another thing. Would they know what he looked like if he wasn't doing the Bruce Wayne thing of going out to events and being the billionaire
That's a
that they're
very
supposed to be?
freaking good point.
If he's just a recluse forever, you don't know what Bruce Wayne looks like.
That's true.
This is the thing. It didn't make 100% sense, and that's why you have to knock off a point or two to say like, okay,
again,
Bruce Wayne
it's
isn't
not perfect. There are definitely problems for sure. Yeah.
What else am I thinking? Oh, the gadgets. How did you feel about the gadgets that Batman had?
I actually really liked it.
I felt like it was a good level, right?
It was a good level because most of the time it's in the gutters him.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has like that the contact,
Yeah.
that is some next level tech. That's not easy to come by. I also like that it was realistic in the sense that to get it that small, it wasn't the clearest picture. It was monochrome.
Yeah.
You know,
It looked very fisheye lens as well. It was like,
right.
You're going to get basic recounts of what this happened there.
You got it.
Yeah.
You know, like that was very cool. And I like that he used it. He specifically went and looked around. And like at the time, you're like, why is he doing this? And then you're like, oh shit. He's got
Yeah.
I also liked, I feel like we could have got a bit more of it, but especially as a way to present it in the first movie, you know, I like the fact that his batarangs in his chest.
Yeah.
I would like to see, not a lot, because I did like the mix, but let's maybe actually use it.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was used that often.
Yeah, no.
They made like a big deal of it. It's like, oh, the guns for the batarang on his chest are made from the gun that killed his parents. And it's like, ooh. So this is like a big thing we're going to see probably quite often. Twice.
I mean, he uses the grappling hooks and stuff a lot.
Yes.
Which is cool. And that's very Batman. And it makes sense for his movement and stuff. But like the iconic batarang, let's see. And I like that he had it. I like that it wasn't forgotten. And I don't want to see it overused. Because I did like that it was very much him. Yeah. And even the Batmobile is just a rally car with bulletproof things and a bigger engine, basically, right? So, well, it's freaking sick. Like, let's use it, man.
How did you feel about how much of a detective Batman was in this?
In the first half, it's great.
It really starts off strong, and I'm like, oh, this guy's a fucking sick detective. He's like going around just giving it a glance. I know everything about that thing right there. Looks over here. I know everything about that thing over there. And then
comes up with a cipher at the end.
Pieces it all together. It's like he who lies still lies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a good detective. This is such good Batman. Yes.
Right. And then they kind of forget about it about halfway through the movie, which is, okay, like it's progressing and we're more into the action phase. But that's the thing is Batman. I mean, some people are suggesting that he is like kind of a meta-human a little bit. That's why he can like, I can't remember. There's like an ageless dude who's sort of like been all the famous people from history. I forget his name.
Keanu Reeves.
But like the idea is that maybe he's descendant from some ancient meta-human, which is why he's tougher than normal. Right. So that when he gets thrown through a wall by Superman, he isn't immediately mushed.
He's alright.
He can take that and a little bit more before he's killed.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But let's forget about that. He does have a superpower, and he is literally the world's best detective, which, if you don't know, actually is a superpower.
It's a pretty good superpower.
And a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually kind of potent. and I did like that we got to see it.
Yeah, I think it was very good. Very good.
I appreciated it a lot. One thing, go on.
I was going to say, is it to do with the detective work or
No?
Okay.
Continue.
I was going to say the combat.
That's what I was about to talk about.
Good stuff. So the combat of Batman and
Yeah.
everything like that. How did you feel about it?
Well, so I was going to say I appreciated the detective work. You losers out there won't appreciate the fact that this Batman is definitely causing people to lose their lives.
Yes.
You're all freaking idiots. You're stupid. We're smart. Big wrinkly brains, small smooth brains.
Yes. All the people out there, James included,
Cry more.
who complain it's like, oh, Batflick isn't a real Batman because he killed people. Well, then by default, you don't think that this is a Batman as well because people will definitely be dying. People will definitely be dying.
Oh,
now,
like you mean the guy that he full 10-second neck tasers at full pelt in the rain
into his brain.
Like brain stem, all those nerves that control your heart and pulse and shit up and down your neck. That guy, also, tasers in general, they're not non-lethal. They're less than lethal. Yeah. They can still kill you, cause heart attacks and stuff like that, but it's rarer than, shooting somebody. So, that guy straight away.
That guy, the guy that we saw in the trailer that he punched about 5 times with the steel knuckle duster hands he had right there. The funny thing is they do this twice. They the one guy right at the end where he punches him in the face and whatnot, and they take off his mask and it's just a little bit red. Just a little bit red. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? So just so you guys know, when Matt Reeves said he doesn't kill anyone in this movie, what he means is that he definitely does something that would kill someone, but they lie about whether or not he died.
Well, it's like he doesn't kill someone in that he doesn't pin someone down, get a gun, and blow their brains out.
Right. There is even one shot.
He's not a murderer.
There is even one shot where he's fighting all the Riddlers on top of that thing and whatnot, and they've all got like long guns and whatnot. He holds one of the guns, turns it around, points it at one of the other Riddlers, and the guy shoots.
Yep.
That's very Batman. Point the gun at someone else. Oh, I didn't do it. He did it.
That guy shot. Like leaving someone to die on a train. That's not the same.
That's not me. In fact, that train was going to fall into a pit. Oh no, wait! I did tell Gordon to do that.
Same as those guys at Falcone's, where he's fighting them in the dark. They're all shooting, and he gets in between them and literally holds their guns so they shoot each other.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
No, not that. I mean, okay, those guys are shooting. How about when he comes into the club, throws a guy off the catwalk onto the half. In fairness, it's only a half step. It's not a full floor down. Metal railing. But then
his back straight onto it. Oh.
And my favorite, because that's okay. Oh, okay. How about when Batman, fully amped up on adrenaline, in the middle of a fight, takes a metal baseball bat and domes a guy with it? What about that one? We okay with that? We're okay with
all good?
Full force, 6'2", fully armored, combat ready, combat trained, Arbats lays into a guy with a metal bat in the head. We're cool. We're cool with that. Cool with that. What about the time when one of the Riddler guys falls off the thing and he saves him by sticking the thing through his leg? And people are like, oh, but it's only through his leg. You mean where all those major arteries go?
Does he afterwards get him medical attention? No, he just leaves to die.
Most of those Riddlers do have harnesses and stuff on, but not all of them. And I'm pretty sure, I don't remember because I don't have my notes, but I'm pretty sure he throws at least one off. Like, and not they fall. I'm pretty sure he throws at least one off and moves into water. 30 feet into 4 foot of water with chairs and...
It's just, you guys need to lay off
idiots.
of it. The thing is, the difference is right here is that we say Batflick is a great Batman.
He's
the best Batman. This one's a great Batman as well. Everything he does is fantastic. Great. It's very fitting for what a Batman would do fighting. It's fantastic. We're saying both of them are great. Yeah. You guys are the dumb ones who have drawn this line in the sand, and then when everyone else crosses it, you're like, no, that's fine.
Well, how about...
But Batflick crosses like, whoa.
How about... The car chase.
You're the hypocrites and we can't take it.
How about the car chase that Arbats initiates with the Penguin? And they'll say, well, the Penguin did all that. And I get that. Look, in fairness, at least Christian Bale, he murdered all of those Jokers with his 50 caliber machine guns and rockets. So fair play. But like, he's continuing this dangerous thing. If he would let back off, the Penguin would not have blown up all of those cars to get away.
A real hero, especially like a Batman, smart hero with infinite like resources and stuff like that, would have come up with a better solution. Where he sees like, okay, this is getting hell as dangerous. Pull back. Maybe I'll go round or something like that, and I pick them.
I'll get Alfred on a drone.
Something, or like I'll shoot a tracker and I'll find him later, or something like that.
That's a good one.
This is what Batman does. When Batman continues to follow, and it's like, yeah, cool, this guy's gonna keep. Okay, the death count has now reached 100. I think I'll act now. I'll act now. That's no problem.
Right.
But at least Batman didn't do it. Batman wasn't the one.
He's only pushing Penguin to do all this.
It's so, this is the problem. Again,
I don't have any problem with anything he does.
I don't have any problem. It's you guys that we have the problem with. The hypocrisy.
You guys are stupid.
So stupid.
Teeny tiny smooth brains.
And I got in an argument online. This is a fun argument, by the way.
Of course.
And people are like, no. But they didn't really do that. It was technically him that shot the gun that killed the other guy. And it's like, how does that make it any better? Or how does it make it any better that Batman allowed all of this to happen?
You'll notice.
Are you calling Batman a sloppy hero?
Oh, right.
Is that
ridiculous.
Is that the good side of it then?
Again, where's the hypocrisy? Superman pancakes a guy. Literally pancakes a gun. Oh, but he's got a gun to low set. Yeah, fair enough. Like, that's a mistake. I totally agree. But like, pancakes a guy. And he could have laser beamed him in the. He could have done anything. Pancake splatters him.
Batman killed Zod that one time, and it's like, yeah. And then did you see the moments afterwards, the remorse he felt for it? Right. That's what a superhero does. He was like, I killed someone. Oh my god, that's gonna destroy me on the inside. That's good character. Yeah. That's what it should be, and that's what Batman is doing. He's fucked in the head because of everything that he has to do. That's the character.
And you'll notice we didn't say that Batman's responsible for Falcone's death. Yeah. He literally brings the guy out into the light where he gets shot. Yeah. That's not on him.
No. He didn't know someone was going to come and shoot him. He was taking him to justice.
Right. But tasing a guy in the neck for 11 seconds with your Batman grade taser.
And then while backhanding another guy with your knuckle dusters.
What are you guys smoking? Like, what my real beef is that Batfleck gets all of this.
Yeah.
So, by the way, let's not forget, where the reason this is a problem is that warehouse fight.
Yeah.
Why is he at the warehouse again? Is it because these Korean mercenaries who murdered people at the beginning of the movie are going to murder the poor defenseless woman who's the only reason a demigod isn't burning the planet to the ground? Is that, or did I forget something in that movie?
It's exactly that.
Crazy.
And it's like the thing they say as well, like, this is the funny thing, they accept this point. They go, technically Batman is on the line for all the deaths that the Joker does, because without killing him and ending it there, then Joker goes on to think, but it's a bit of a grey area. Why is this him directly doing stuff, not a grey area though?
Right.
I don't understand the difference, and that's just what gets me.
And to be very clear, our argument for Batman here is Batman doesn't kill, but people may die. Mm-hmm. Batman doesn't go out of his way to murder people, because we know what that looks like. It's a nightmare timeline, and he takes out everyone. Yeah. And it's really bad. It's really bad. That's what happens when Batman kills. Mm-hmm. What Batman does is stop people, and if they happen to die while trying to murder a town, that is their problem.
Exactly.
Like
the guy in the warehouse scene where one guy pulls out a grenade, and then he sort of like flicks it back, and it's just all like, well, he didn't tell the guy afterwards to then run to the grenade to almost jump on it for some reason. That's his fucking fault.
Yeah, it's his grenade,
but he did kick it back to him. So whatever you want to say,
bad guy Batman should have let himself get murdered.
Nah, no, fuck it. He should have just taken that grenade like a good soldier.
Like, we picked on these, right? Let's pick on Christian Bale. What do you think happens when you throw, let's say, SWAT officers out of a roof with no harness but just tied around ropes?
What was really funny about that, every time I see that scene, I'm like, it's such a coincidence that they all stopped and swung in at the available spaces between the floors and not go pancake right into the concrete.
Right,
like,
head first.
Fuck!
Yeah, exactly.
That could have that squashed his brain.
Exactly.
What happens when you also fire heat-seeking missiles at trucks one of them carrying a nuclear bomb?
No comment, bruv. Nothing.
Oh, we just killed the driver. Oh, that's fine then. Don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's just the driver. Don't worry about that. Also, don't worry about the chase under that bridge in the confined space in a live, while people are on the highway in that bridge. High caliber bullets, explosives, not just coming your way, because they're shooting at you and hitting other people, but I feel like a 50 cal is going to zip straight through the side of one of them and into, I don't know, an oncoming vehicle.
In that scene as well, it's Dark Knight, isn't it? Where he's like on the what's really funny is that in that scene they have these two kids that are locked in a car, I don't know, waiting for their parents or
and
something.
stuff starts blowing up behind them.
And they're like, and then actual explosions start happening. I was like, they were like 2 cars away from in line where Bale was going. They didn't check.
No, it's okay. It's okay because this is, they're in traffic. That's why they're in there.
Fine,
so those cars are obviously parked with nobody in them in this traffic jam, right? Right. That's how traffic works, right? Right.
Again, we're just trying to highlight the stupidity that you guys have come up with.
Idiots.
If you came up with if it was something good, you were like, do you know what? I actually don't like the suit. I think the suit should be more like this.
Fair enough.
Even if it was not even close to like comic book accurate, I'd be like, cool. Fair enough. That's a preference. That's the thing. And also maybe there are better suits out there.
I don't like the mech suit. I don't like it. It looks cool.
Yeah,
but I don't like it.
There is like a comic where he's in like an armored suit.
Yeah, there is.
And
And it's canon. It's canon. I don't like it.
I don't personally
It's
like
Iron Man, and he's better than Iron Man. And also, I feel like the mech suit is the realm of Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I feel like it's because he's really the enemy of Superman. Yeah. These guys aren't enemies. They just don't know they're friends yet.
Exactly. And if you say that kind of thing, that's cool. But you guys literally picked up the thing that every other Batman does and then said, no, when this guy does it, it's bad.
He burned down a hut full of ninjas.
But they're bad guys. So why is that the line then? Why is that the line? Why does it move when it... Oh.
It's so.
Anyway.
Also, as well, I do have a complaint about the suit. I really can't get over the forehead.
The bowling ball head.
It really... I tried to ignore it. And also, I think he kind of has a bowling ball head. Even as Bruce, I was sort of noticing how much forehead he has. But like in the suit, it's pretty oppressive. That's all I could see.
I kind of liked part of the cowl because I like the... So if you look closely in some of the scenes where you're really looking at his eyes and stuff like that, you see the nose bit isn't like a perfect molded
It's like
shape.
almost a leather. Yeah, I agree.
And I was like, that looks cool. It's handmade and stuff like that. He made it in the Batcave.
He's sort of 2 years... Sounds dumb, but he's 2 years in. He's still young. He's a young Batman. We're not talking... Like, the Bat... This is the thing as well. People aren't getting Batfleck. He's been doing this for like 20 years. Yeah. Right? He's lost Robins. He's lost friends. He's lost most things, and by this point he's just looking to get the job done. It's that line from No Way Home where Andrew Garfield goes, oh yeah, at some point I got bitter and I just stopped pulling my punches. Now if you're Spider-Man, you punch through people, that's bad. But if you're Batman, you're not punching a hole in someone's chest, you're just absolutely murking them a little bit more than you would have. And they're villains, kind of.
I love how everyone liked that line from No Way Home, but when it applies to Batman, whoa.
That means if he does that on a human being, they die. Yeah. We're talking about somebody that can catch an SUV with a family inside out of the air, bring it to rest, and lay it down.
Exactly.
If he hits a human being, dead. So, like, I'm just saying, and I vibed with that line. I love that. I'd love to see that Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, that version, go home and try and, after he's been saved by the Brotherhood of Spideys.
We might get that. Apparently there's something coming.
I would love to see that, him getting back and having to sort of like unfrick the mess he made and trying to get his life back on track and Spider-Man back on track. I think that would be great. A little bit darker, but by the end it's still Spider-Man,
Yeah. That's
what I would like.
You remember it's now become iconic in my mind. The scene where all the lights go out and all Falcon's men start shooting at him with like machine guns.
Yeah.
And it's in the darkness and you only see them whenever there's muscle flashes. Yeah. So that was amazing.
Of course. And he kills a bunch of people doing that.
It was amazing. And apparently that was all done with practical effects.
Oh, with like blanks.
I guess blanks with like the muzzle flashes were all real, and that was how the scene was lit. And I guess they timed perfectly the explosions on his chest as well and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's amazing because the movements that he does and where he appears and where he disappears seem almost choreographed, but it's down to the guys shooting at the end of the day in order to light the scene. And I was like, this is... How many takes did that take?
It is choreographed, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
but like, I mean, but in the darkness as well, how do you know what you're looking at?
What you're saying is, the other way to do it is you film it lit and you cast the shadow and then all you do is take it back with muzzle flash for when you want the action to happen. What we're saying is it was all in dark and the only time you see the action is when the stuff is going off, which needs to be done really, really well. Also because what we do see looks in the flow of a fight. right? So obviously, like in the darkness, when the camera can't see, they can get themselves positioned, but it has to happen at a full force fight flow. So I mean,
and someone actually firing a fucking G36 at you with blanks.
Even whoops. I will say I've been in I've shot guns in enclosed spaces, and I don't mean just like firing ranges at like stuff. Especially in a hallway that size, it feels like getting punched in the face just from the pressure of that stuff going off. So, and it's loud. It's really loud. So like it's really well done. I'm a sucker for a hallway scene, even at that angle. Like my iconic hallway scene is the Daredevil thing or Old Boy, but like anything you put it in a hallway, you do it like in a one shot type thing. I'm sold. You know, I'm sold
to the man and thing. I do say, I will say, Batman. Robert Pattinson playing as Batman as well. He did some really, really good. Just like the way he carried himself.
I agree.
There's the scene I'm thinking of in particular where he's entering the
mayor's place.
I was thinking more where he's entering the nightclub.
As Batman or as
Batman this time.
Yeah.
And he's on a mission. He's going to start knocking people out. And the way he walks in, he's walking, and also the way he where else does he walk really quickly, really fast? I think it might have been at the end towards where he's going down to the bottom of the nightclub. Anyway, where he's just walking through, doesn't give a fuck about anyone who's in the way. He doesn't even barge people. He just continues walking, and he carries so much inertia.
Oh, where he's walking through the hallway to
He just carries so much inertia that everyone just gets forced out of the way.
I really agree.
And then when people do attack, 1, 2, boom, they're out of the way. Another one, bang, bang, over the rail, out of the way. It's just the way he
couple
just
of things
himself.
at this point. One, I really loved that people that we saw who were continually in fights kept taking damage. So in particular, those twins who start off normal, then they get a black eye, then the broken nose, then the swallow face. Do you know what I mean? I really appreciated that.
I'm here to see the Penguin. Who?
I also
comes back his fucking face beaten up. Twin comes out, face beaten up too.
I also really appreciate because I think there's 3 times he goes through that door. One as Batman and one as
Bruce.
But then also one as Bruce, not as Batman. Batman, but not in the suit.
He doesn't say, right? He just like...
Right. I like that when he's not fully armored, he is worried about tactics. He knows that he isn't Batman right now. So 1, his identity is on show if he's seen. Yeah. But 2, he's not fully armored. So like he knocks, one guy comes out, he comes in and shuts the door because you don't want to fight that guy. You can lock him out.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. It's tactics. It makes sense. You don't have to worry about it when you're fully Kevlar, knuckle dusted up.
Yeah.
But when you're not, also I appreciate that, he's wearing those metal knuckle dusters, so he's wrapped his hands. Yeah. Because if you hit the inside of that,
you're going to fucking feel it.
You're going to mess yourself up. And there's a lot about this that's done really right.
But the other guys just go slightly red when you punch them in the face, so don't worry about it.
Maybe he's pulling his punches.
To be fair, he had that the Riddler mask on, so maybe that gave him a lot of protection.
That's it. That leather mask.
Exactly. Yeah. It even looked like fisherman's outfit or something like that. Right. The time when Batman. So after Batman goes to the funeral.
Yeah.
And there's the bomb, and and the Riddler does his thing, and he blows up the guy. I thought it was fucking amazing that he got blown halfway across the room as well. Yes. It was like fucking visceral. I was like, whoa. And it looked so good as well. Like in slow motion, you could see like the fire was between their chests, and he just got thrown across the way. And then him waking up in a police interrogation room with like 50 cops around him, and him starting a fucking fight in between them. He's like, I don't care, I'm Batman. And he like punches one guy, and the other guy's like, whoa, calm the fuck down. Gordon's trying to diffuse this high pressure situation.
The only thing that doesn't make sense really about that is that they would have taken the mask off way before this point. However,
so we'll just give him the courtesy to wake up first,
right?
And now let's try.
This guy that we know takes out gangsters with his bare hands. But I mean, at some point you got to suspend your disbelief in it. Yeah. Like you can't always be.
One thing we didn't say. What do you think about Gordon?
Good. I liked him.
I think he was really good.
He was great.
Really good.
Oh, wait. Wasn't he black in this?
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. You get the right actor in an appropriate role, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to turn like T'Challa white, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
It absolutely didn't feel shoehorned in or any of that stuff. And that's why I feel okay saying I'm worried that the mayor lady,
Yeah.
I think she needs to be crooked.
It seems especially because it's Gotham. No one's good.
And no one gets that high. No. And like I said, the only person that managed it is a billionaire who hasn't gone out.
Yeah.
Who's been basically a recluse.
It adds more credence to the idea that she is crooked as well, because she's got that high, completely seems to be unaffected, hasn't been tried to been attacked, hasn't been anything. And the only person that did attack her was technically the Riddler and his men. But he's not exactly thinking of for Mal.
He's trying
Falcone.
to destabilize stuff.
He's just trying to fuck shit up. That's what he's trying to do. So that makes sense. And the other guys would never attack him because she's in on it. She's in on the whole thing.
I did like the renewal thing.
Yeah,
I liked the idea of it where the Waynes are gone, or Thomas and Martha Wayne are gone, and they have basically unlimited funds, and that's the play. Everybody's looking for renewal. And also, it's very Gotham to be like, we're going to do this and fix that. And then the money for that program sort of just either gets moved around or doesn't quite make it.
Now we have to rebuild the seawall.
Right. So it was very Gotham. I really like the movie. It's the best Batman movie by a very long way.
I really liked, because I didn't mention before, I really liked Jim Gordon. He wasn't commissioner in this one. I keep thinking of Dark Knight.
He's captain. Right?
Yeah, it's great. And the relationship, he seems like the only pure one there. Batman even says it, like, you're not corrupt and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
I also like that he brings Batman in. Yeah. And even the cops that aren't crooked are like, are you sure about this? Like, even the ones that sort of agree with it and can see that he's getting stuff done are like, he's a vigilante. And one guy's like, what about chain of evidence? You know? And freaking fair enough.
The guy's just like, hey, Jim, what about chain of
evidence?
He's wearing
gloves.
He says
he's wearing gloves.
He's wearing gloves. It's okay. It's like, oh, fine, I guess.
but also that's the thing, is like, they are right. He shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And even though they're working with a lot of corrupt cops, but like, even the good guys are bending the rules a bit, you know? He shouldn't be here. And he hasn't really been formally... Yeah, he's better than everyone there, of course he is. But, like, they don't know that.
Yeah.
He hasn't been vetted. He hasn't been professionally trained. He hasn't been on lowercase crime scenes where it doesn't really matter if something happens. You know, he shouldn't be here. And they're bending the rules. Even the good ones are bending the rules. You know, like... First of all, I doubt Jim Gordon's paying the electricity bill for that. You know, like, it's in a derelict building. Do you know what I mean? Like even the good guys are kind of crooked.
Yeah.
You know, so Gotham feels so good. It feels so good.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I really liked it as well. I think this is gonna go down as one of the best movies. I do.
Oh, it's so far easily the best Batman.
What's the worst part is that it really does. And this is something that everybody agrees, even the ones that are like anti Batfleck and whatnot, is that it now sucks so much that we didn't get a solo Batfleck movie, because then you could do a direct comparison, because Batman vs Superman, it's not a Batman movie.
It's not.
Superman movie. Yeah. Justice League, while he was in it and it was great, it's not a Batman movie. It seems so unfair because everyone has had a Batman movie. Yeah. Everyone in their grandma's had a Batman movie.
George Clooney got one. Okay.
But we won't give Ben Affleck the one that everybody, anytime there's a poll on Twitter, anytime there's a discussion, it's always Ben Affleck is the best one. It's the one that gets voted the highest by everyone. It's only the people that are like doing it for the memes and whatnot who are like,
or don't understand how violence works.
Yeah, who are like anti Batfleck, and it's so weird because that's the one that we should at least get so we can round out. At least if we get it and then it's shit, then we're like, okay, we've crossed it off the list. But we haven't got it, and all we've got is blue balls from what greatness we have seen.
What did you think about? I presume it's the Joker at the end.
Yes, so I believe it has to be the Joker.
Has to be.
Yeah. We knew
weird,
it had to,
right?
I knew it had to be there because like they had to tease something, but it was strange.
He looks so weird.
It looks like he's completely disfigured and whatnot. It looks like he's like skin disorder, and it has to. I guess that's gonna be the way they go with it. Because how do you go with a guy that like...
I'll tell you what. Yeah. I was talking with Rob about this yesterday. First of all, we think we should use different villains. And second, I don't think we should do another Joker. Not for a while. Because we had some of the best Joker stuff. The best Joker in Heath Ledger, and then I actually really like Jared Leto's Joker because I say it's Dick.
You choose to believe it's the not what's his name, Jason Todd.
That's it. Jason Todd, not Dick Grayson. Jason Todd.
Even though we don't know.
We don't know. But I feel like there's enough there that it's not a huge leap.
Yeah.
And the stuff at the end of Justice League was so good.
Yeah.
For like, there's a bunch of other villains that are there for Batman that would, like, we've never had a, is it Firefly? Glow? There's a fire guy whose name I totally forgot just now. That's bugging me. Batman villain, 1 second. Batman villain. Fire. Is it Firefly? Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
Firefly.
Firefly. Yeah, he's basically an arsonist. He's basically Mr. Freeze, but with fire.
Okay.
Great villain. Let's use that. I also think we should get a Deadshot in.
Ooh.
Me and Rob were discussing how you'd make it work yesterday. But the basic idea is they came a little bit too quick. We would have had the mayor lady.
Off them, don't you?
Yes, indeed. I would have had the mayor lady get shot in an assassination attempt. But then as you go through it, you realize that it's Deadshot. And Batman figures out that it's Deadshot and that she's alive because she's supposed to be alive. Right?
Okay.
And that she hired Deadshot to take out political opponents, but to cover her ass, she is...
hired the assassin that wouldn't kill her.
Right, the assassin's supposed to kill her or kills her running mate next to her, but she's the target.
Right.
She's not the target. The guy next to her is the target. You
It
know
would
what I mean?
make sense in this movie as well because she gets shot and then 5 minutes later she seems to be conspicuously
She
okay.
takes a perfectly flesh wound shoulder shot.
It seems like it was in the stomach as well.
Yeah, in the movie. Well, I'm saying in my version, she'd take the perfect arc and keep going sort of shoulder shot. And then also we get a dead shot that I'm a big fan of Will Smith, but like his dead shot's not good, and that movie was poor.
Yeah.
You know, but like we can get some freaking. There are some great villains. There are some great villains, and
Yeah.
it doesn't always have to be the Joker. And don't get me wrong, I know it's Batman. Like what Superman without Lex Luthor? Although we haven't had a Lex Luthor really.
We haven't. This is the thing. Like I said at did I say it in this episode? No, I said it in a True Gamer where like every director has their own vision for everything. And while we have had Jokers, he's gonna do his own Joker and he's gonna have his own spin on it. And he chose to go with Riddler for the first one, which is a Riddler we haven't had for a long time. So at least we got that. He's gonna have to go his own way.
Also, like I would love if we're going with these guys with this Batman being canon. Let's tie in, seriously, because it works with this noir. How long have I been saying I want a Martian Manhunter noir detective type thing? I know it's not Justice League, and I know the Snyderverse is not exactly canon because WB hate money and success.
Yeah.
But like...
the number one most streamed HBO, I think it came out, the stats. What's really funny, they're like, Peacemakers are top
apparently that's
thing.
brilliant. I still need to watch it. But
apparently that's number 4.
yeah.
It's like, and Zack Snyder's Justice League sitting there number 1. It's like just a gold mine waiting for you.
I still think we can get Martian Manhunter into one of these Batman, presumably this trilogy, with ease. It wouldn't feel shoehorned, and then we can establish as another character. You know, like that's the one thing DC's always missing. It forgets that it has to remain in a universe. It just focuses on its movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we read some of the essays that I'm sure Alfred Quillele has?
Shit. Let me get my loads of if you want to.
That's cool. Let me see if I can get. Where's this going to be? Movie Club.
Yes. I forgot all about these.
Yeah, let me. I don't see anything here from Alpha, which is very strange.
I think he did it on Patreon.
Okay, cool. Let me read a few of these from Discord while you get that. Kahaha56, Mr. 56 says, the best movie featuring Batman. Not my favourite, but the best. Much better than Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's full cap. Let me add a cap there. But that isn't hard to beat. Full caps. Definitely the best Batman movie. I think we've established this. Not the best Batman, but the best Batman movie. I think he's top 3.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's got to be Batfleck is the best Batman. I think Keaton is the most comic book.
Ooh.
Like most true to comic Batman. So I love him for that reason. And I'm not sure if I think I'm going to put Pattinson above him. So I think I'm going to go Batfleck, Pattinson, Keaton, which I think is probably a fairly contentious list.
Yeah, that's a contentious list right there.
Oh, and I also said, by the way, I said to Carl, I guess I forgot this quote. This is the thing about our memories. I quote tweeted him and I said, people have been banned for this. Juice, is it Juice? Juice Source, yeah, it's Juice Source. Said, I'm pretty mixed, but overall it was a good film. Cinematography was very nice, and it's easily the best adaptation of Batman in live action we've got. First version to actually handle his no kills rule properly. That's bizarre because he killed a bunch of people.
He killed a bunch of people.
I felt like
Interesting.
I felt like
handle the no kill roll by throwing it out of the window like Batman normally does.
yeah, which was your favourite no kill? Where he full force takes that baseball bat to the guy's head, where he shoots all those people in Falcone's hallway.
Must be, yeah.
I felt the dark tone of the film didn't work all of the time. And at this point, I really would like Batman films to spice things up and stop giving the same dark, brooding take on the character. Though this film probably handled it the best out of all of them. It's bizarre because he's the Dark Knight. And I will say I really didn't like the stuff in the orphanage. That was a bit heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It was just odd. Sometimes it did feel like it was trying too hard to be really dark and edgy, especially with Bruce, when he wasn't in his Batman outfit. He had a very I'm whispering, so I'm cool vibe to him. Yeah,
and the whole thing where like he's wearing really dark sunglasses. When he takes it off, he's like, "Oh, yeah. I'm a nocturnal animal." Oh.
yeah, that was very. Although it's quite noir,
yeah.
But like it was a bit. I'm with you. Riddler was pretty cool. I still would have much preferred a more comic, accurate, flamboyant showman Riddler, but what they did with him was well done. Was done well. I'm also a bit annoyed that it's yet another villain whose whole motivation is corruption is so bad, so I'm planting a bomb. But unlike a lot of the other villains who had the motivation, cough cough Nolan trilogy, it did feel developed. It did feel developed very well, and Dano played him really well. I guess that's the actor's name. I didn't even know Penguin was Colin Farrell, so who knows? I think the film went on a bit too long, especially in the first half. You could really feel the slow pace, and I didn't think the movie really needed to be that slow. Didn't feel like the movie needed to be that slow. There we go. The ending was peak cinema, though. Pretty much everything from the arrest of Riddler up until the end of the movie was great. That's weirdly where I thought it was a bit weak. Because it just happens. I feel like it just happens.
It needs to...
like this group of people that we never knew about, they turn up, the bombs explode. Like, it just happens.
Yeah, They mention it roughly. They're like, oh yeah, he's got this secret account where he posts about videos about bombs and stuff like that. Right. He's got like over 500 followers and whatnot. And I was like, is that like a YouTube channel he's trying to talk about? It's kind of low key. We're bigger than that. I was like, oh.
And then also the whole thing with the bombs in the seawall, like we just need it to be established. Catwoman was great in the movie. Her whole characterization was really good, and I really like Gordon in the film, and can't wait for the Gotham PD spin-off. Oh, what?
Yes, apparently there's a Gotham PD spin-off. Yeah.
I'm down. I'm so down. He was great. He's great.
Fantastic.
Overall, strong 7 or 8 out of 10. Wouldn't say it's a masterpiece or anything, but overall, and definitely the best live-action Batman movie. My ranking would be, from what he's seen, I forgot about Lego Batman. The Batman, Lego Batman movie, Batman vs Superman, Batman 1989. That's the Keaton one, I think. The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises.
Damn, Dark Knight Rises right down the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. But okay.
I don't think it's the best, but hey, it's down.
Good list.
Yeah.
Do you want to do?
Let me do one from here. Let me do Adam's one here. Adam, the Alyssa White gloss simp. I need to find out who this woman is and do my business later. Robat Battenbat. He calls it. Robat Battenbat is the best Batman, and this is definitely the best Batman film. And Eddie, your opinions about this film are... Well, I said it was great. Is it invalid now?
I guess this movie shit.
I guess this movie shit, for obvious reasons. And he goes, and you would probably want... And you would probably want a lot of Jesus imagery and allegories, just like how your favorite director does it. So, just so you know, him taking the bomb while trying to save him and then rising again, that's a Jesus allegory right there. That's him rising and taking on the pain for the sin.
I will say as well, with Superman, it's kind of a very obvious...
With Superman, it's direct. I mean, is there something wrong with that? Has it never been done before? The thing is that if your Superman was to be in the world, people would see him...
It's a fairly good comparison.
People would be like, shit, that's God. That must be God. He looks like us, as it says in the Bible, where it takes on made them in my image and whatnot. And he's all powerful and all
Can
loving.
hear everything, can see everything.
Shit, okay, this must be God. That's the way we would see it, a messianic figure. Anyway, you could even call him Pat Flick if your name is Joel or Jackson. And yes, that's another one of Adam's patented dumb podcast references. It's from another podcast that nobody knows about. No one listens to it other than this podcast. Thank you very much, Adam, for writing in there. But I don't get it. Are you right? Are you wrong? Is this the best?
We don't know, innit?
Because I said it was the best.
The Oak Bro says, proceeds to write library's worth of thoughts as to why this movie is true cinema. Oh, I guess it was a stage direction. What can I say that probably hasn't been said by people more eloquent than me, but I really, really love this movie. It's what I wanted from a Batman movie with a few minor things and more. Fave scenes: Riddler's first kill, the tension in the scene, and the reflection of the Riddler's glasses. It was really good.
Oh yeah.
Batman's opening monologue and the lines, the shadows, the fight, Batmobile chase, the sound design for. Oh my god, the car sounds so good. The sound design for that beast car and the chaotic chase. The music in this movie is so good.
So good.
I feel like we have overdone the Ave Maria thing. I can't. The flare scene, the completed arc, the imagery of it all, and that final score. True cinema that Martin Scorsese would love.
That's another thing. The flare scene at the end is like guiding his men through everything, like Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus is light guiding you.
Come
on, people.
What I disliked, Joker, just because he's here earlier than I would have wanted. Although I hope we see him. We don't see him until movie 3 at least. The wingsuit, just why?
It was like it popped out of nowhere, and it also
looked
looked like it was
comic relief at the end.
Yeah. Oh, mate, how did he not die from that hit?
Oh, this is the thing. It's like it's supposed to be comic relief, and I get that it's supposed to ease the tension, but like this is a real Batman. He's out of commission for 3 months.
That was
even on billionaire healthcare.
Yeah, the thing is, the stuff helps him from impact, but you can't stop. Like if you get hit by a train, you don't survive even if you have armor. That was when he landed on the ground. It's like and he sort of limped for a second. I was like, no, you've broken your back, your rib cage. You've got major internal organ failure.
Just whiplash alone. just like, So he goes on. He goes, it felt like being grounded for the sake of being grounded. But then he rappels down a building. So just pointless.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
There was moments where it's like, this is a grounded Batman. They did something unbelievable. And it's like, it's okay, it's Batman, but you can't pretend to be this and then
I
be
feel
that.
like we didn't need the wingsuit. I actually would have preferred him to sort of jump and you're like, oh my god, what's he going to do? Is it going to be a wingsuit? No, he swings with the rappel guns. Yeah. Make it, be a bit Spider-Man.
In his arm.
So here's why I actually don't have a problem with the grapple. Yeah. Because if his suit's all Kevlar, then it's the Kevlar that takes the stuff. Yeah. So I'm okay with him dropping full force. Because it's attached to the suit. The suit's attached to... Did you see what I mean?
They had a good thing for it in Batman Begins, I think it was, where it was attached to the belt, and the belt had the mechanism, and it would like wind it all up, and I was like, I get it.
I think that's it. Oh, and also Tarnished, which is T, I think, said, just saw it. It's shot in the Snyder Cut. It is Bizarro confirmed.
It what?
I don't know. I'm going to edit this for him and let's just add a cap.
Feel free. Feel free. Cobra SS writes into Patreon and he says, this is the best take of Gotham since Batman Forever. Damn, Batman Forever. That's a cool bit right there. Yeah. Where that one was boisterous and flamboyant, this city is truly in the gutter. A real place of decay and you devoid. Was great to see Batman do some detective work and be tested mentally. Felt like my favorite parts of the Arkham games. It also made the action more impactful as it was just constant punching. Yep. I was worried about the runtime, but it flew by and can't wait to see it again. Whilst I prefer Dark Knight as the best Bat film, this is a close behind. I mean, you were so good until that last sentence, but here we go. No, it's really good, brother. You brought some really good points. This feeling of Gotham and everything is totally sick.
It's so good. Do you want to read the essay?
I'll read.
Oh my god.
Okay, we're not reading all of this, unfortunately. This is alpha. I love you, and I feel so bad when we have to leave stuff out.
I'm going to read it in my own time, but like,
But you need to bring it down. Do you know what the funny thing is? He wrote his comment, and I think because he took so long to write it in like stages or something like that, when
Did it
he
time out his
sent,
browser?
yes, that Patreon deleted his thing, and he told me, he's like, "Did you get the comment? It seemed to, it doesn't, it's not showing for me." I was like, "No, it's not there." And then he goes and does it all again. So
I'm
know the problem.
gonna read it because
Yeah.
I appreciate. Also, he's got a really good, at least for written stuff,
yeah,
a great way of storytelling.
and it's about Batman, your favorite character.
Exactly. So I want you to know I'm gonna read it.
All right, so
But we have finite time, and we've already been going for oh Jesus, we're well over an hour.
Ooh, okay, all right, here we
Okay.
go. He says, "The Batman is the worst movie ever. Batman killed, he was angry, and there was no jokes." That's exactly. Did you see the videos? There was some guys that are like clearly like MCU stans who were like, there was no like comedy in this movie. Or
Where's Fat Thor?
I was like, what?
What are you talking about? Where's the comedy in Endgame?
This sounded something that Tyler would say.
It's the Dark Knight. What are you smoking?
It was so dark, it was hard to see what was happening. He was a pervert when he looked at children in the movie. What the fuck?
What?
What? This is woke trash. And he goes, nah. As you can see, these criticisms are outright silly. Except for the killing, you've got to have at least one gratuitous collateral kill. Even if he doesn't directly kill, there's no egg on my face from the last podcast, available now on Patreon. Jokes aside, let's go. The film suits the title. It's the closest to being the definitive Batman movie by a long shot. This was phenomenal. Batman was amazing, and it was great to see him start his journey without having to show how Martha's pearls fell on the floor for the billionth time. The character is popular enough that we all know the story. I loved everything and could just gush about the film. So here's some of my thoughts. Can we all take a moment to think about how old Batman is? First appearing in March. Oh, Jesus Christ. He's going back to the lineage of Batman. March 1939, he says. Almost took 83 years to get an accurate live action movie adaptation. Woo, boy, okay. Here's some insight into my mind. I keep thinking back to the Arkham games that I just watched. As I watched the movie, he says, sorry, and it reminded me of some random stuff, as well as Gotham in the Telltale games. Gotham City was perfect. An early shot reminded me of an early shot in the Arkham Knight outside the diner. In fact, I had so many random thoughts about Arkham while I watched the movie. Maybe there were some direct influences, but these would probably mostly have come from the Rocksteady Reeves, and Reeves being influenced by similar sources. Dark and brooding city, it needed to be shown, it needed to be its own character, and it was. Best Gotham I've seen, and we actually see people living as opposed to the night.
Yeah.
I'm going to read the next two paragraphs right here. It says, the music was fantastic. Definitely need to get the soundtrack. I sat through the credits for the music alone for the first time ever. I could see some inspiration from The Long Halloween. Don't know what that is. This is a big detective movie, which is what we needed. I could see a Telltale influence from the Arkham and the Waynes. Yeah. The Batmobile was very cool. I'm a sucker for just having a car. Looking like a 1949 Batman and Robin. This was just a car. Just a car. Love West Batmobile. It might be my favorite. And this one was like an armored version of that, which was great to see. Plus, the rear of the car reminded me of the Afterburner from Night.
Yeah.
Loved how it shot midair through the fire. The shot through the midair was practical.
So sick, isn't it?
So sick. I will say one thing. That shot that we saw in the trailer where like the Batman comes in, where it's upside down and everything. When he's walking towards, I was like, this is the shot. Oh my God, it's so good. I didn't actually like him when he leaned down to have a look into the car.
I agree. I feel like we shouldn't have seen that.
It should have been the boots, and that was it. At the end
I
of that.
agree.
But he just sort of bent down, and he was like,
yeah, you're never going to make that look good.
Exactly. And I felt like I was like,
even better, I think we maybe should have had a scene from maybe the Penguin's perspective of him being ripped out the car.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ah!
Or just end with the boots.
Yeah.
You know? And then cut to
the next scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Would have been fine. Practical. Also, I love the dark muzzle flashes in the combat scenes were also practical. I I read this Alfred one. Alfred was great too. There was perfect relationship there. I definitely seen that scene before with Alfred apologizing to Bruce. He couldn't be a father, but he could teach him to fight. But for the life of me, I can't place it. Maybe Gotham. Perfection. Chef's kiss. The film played the best Batman. Can we stop with the Marvel stuff now? This is more proof why DC is better. Facts. It's always nice to be reminded that DC is better than Marvel and why I remain a fan. Not to say that you can't have both, but come on, really? No competition.
We all know.
Guys, this is why we're DC fans. We're watching other stuff for a bit of entertainment, but as Martin Scorsese says, it's not cinema.
Exactly.
Like this right here.
Exactly.
And the final paragraph goes, I've given my previous ranking, but just to add to the Batman add the Batman to the top. I finally have a movie that I can completely back as my favorite Batman movie. No holds barred, no hesitation, no embarrassment. It is the beginning of what feels like just some really quick stuff because I really need to stop gushing about this film. In person, I could probably keep going, but if we meet in person, you can continue going.
Yeah.
We can have a drink for every time you say...
we'll be slaughtered.
Exactly. Every time you come up with a new point. But one more thing, Eddie must love this movie because Batman becomes Superman. I mean, Hope... He becomes Hope.
He does become Hope.
Seriously though, can people stop saying his superpower is being rich? There you go. That's thank you very much for that lengthy comment right there. Sorry for skipping over some of the bits, but it was actually really good what we read out.
One final thought.
Yeah.
Because I just remembered the final credit scene. Dog shit. It's
scene
just an end screen of the computer
Oh,
thing. And I stayed because I heard there is an end scene. It is just a picture of the thing with a question mark bleeping. That's it. It's awful. It's dog shit.
I didn't stay. I was like, I heard there's something there, but I was like, I'll find it.
The credits were long. Halfway through, a few times I went to my chick like, there might not be anything. We can YouTube it. She's like, no, let's see. And then after, she's like, that was it. I'm like, you wanted to stay.
I told you. One final comment from Sheps's Krusty right now. This is by far the best comic book movie ever made. Kilometers better than Dark Knight trilogy, which is massively overrated. Pattinson's take on Batman is the best. I love the chemistry between Selina and Bruce. It was ripped straight out of the comic book. Same with Batman and Gordon. Colin Farrell as the Penguin was great. Wouldn't it have been amazing if I didn't say that Colin Farrell was a Penguin?
I would have no idea.
And you heard it right here. You'd be like, hold up.
Wait a minute.
Colin Farrell was great as the Penguin, even though he's completely unrecognizable.
Yeah.
The one thing that disappointed me was Andy Serkis's Alfred. I just couldn't look past the fact that it was Andy Serkis playing Alfred.
I did feel that, I gotta say.
This is the downside that people need to remember when when you get like a movie's coming out of a brand new thing and then they say, why didn't they get this guy or something like that, and they got this unknown actor? It's because sometimes you just can't see past that actor.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill's got to that stage now where you can't see past Henry Cavill.
I agree.
Whenever I'm watching The Witcher, I see Henry Cavill.
He's great and he plays Geralt really well, but all I see through the show to Henry Cavill. I'm with you. Yeah.
And one final line: it has to be one of the coolest shots in filmmaking, but where Batman just got out of the Batmobile and shows that and it shows Penguin's view of the Batman walking towards him. 1,000 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, it needed to just stop at the boots.
That would have been there.
Yeah. Or another version of it is he could have been like walking towards Penguin's, like looking around trying to get out, looks back, nothing's there, and then Batman swoops in and kicks him out. From the other side, because it's that Batman disappearing thing. But personally, I would have gone boots, crunch, stop, next scene.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's the end of our Batman review.
We loved
you
it.
all. Oh, that was
So good. And also, it's nice to now have a Batman movie that we can say we loved that won't be contentious for anyone.
Right.
Like, because Dark Knight and all that stuff. First of all, Dark Knight is a Joker movie, and the other two are a bit, the loving Batfleck, who doesn't have a Batman movie, and you can only love him if you see the right cut of the movie, so like the extended cut for Batman vs Superman or the Snyder cut. Otherwise, it's not good.
Yeah.
But this, everybody can agree, this is a freaking amazing movie. Yeah. To be honest, I'm going to tell you, boys, if you find someone that says, oh, I didn't like it, you don't need that kind of negativity in your life. Okay?
Just cut that bit out like a cancer.
Right.
All right, boys. We'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you all for joining us, and I'll see you in
See you in the next one. Like the video, frick!
Yeah, we should have told you that a long time ago. We are so good at this. So good at this, guys.